Like a room quiet, tape on my hands. Chalk on the palms, I'm rubbing it in here. The echo of steps in the near empty hall. Bench got a dent where I used to sit last, watching the starters get called for the ball. You say it's a snub, I say it's a mirror. What you avoid, got a way to recall. I stayed after practice, counted the reps, turned every miss to a lesson I lost. Laces pulled tight, I'm testing the grip. Flow got a squeak like it's speaking in code. You talk about talent, I talk about time, and the kind that you built when nobody's enrolled. I ran through the drill till the lungs felt honest. Sweat on the jersey like truth that I hold. You waited for minutes, I made me a moment. The difference between what is given and owned. Earn the minutes, earn the name. No free shine, no free lane. Earn the minutes, earn the name. Quiet word, loud again. I'm pausing the frame, seeing the space that I missed on the cut. You call it a bad night, I call it a pattern. The kind that get fixed when you tighten it up. Coach the decisions, I heard be decisive. Hesitation, the thing that be holding you stuck. I train on the weak side, built up the balance. Now left feel as sharp as the right when I touch. Early arrivals, the janitor nod. I'm first in the gym and the last one to go. You measuring highlights, I'm measuring habits. The kind that don't need you to post what you show. I kept it consistent when nobody clapped. Let discipline speak when the confidence low. You wanted a chance, I built me a stand. And now when I step in, they already know. Earn the minutes, earn the name. No free shine, no free lane. Earn the minutes, earn the name. Quiet word, loud again. Game on the line, I'm called from the bench. Heart like a drum, but the breath stay calm. It wasn't just talent that put me in place. It's all of the mornings I carried the calm. You think it's a moment that make you a player. It's really the work with nobody involved. I trusted the reps, let instinct take over. The hours unseen is what got me involved. I didn't need luck, I built me a rhythm so pressure feel familiar whenever it called. I hit the right red, made a simple or clean. Hurt nothing but net and a shift in the air. No need for a speech, I drop back on defense. Results through the talking when you've been prepared. You chase the applause, I chase the execution. The gap between noise and the truth right there. Some winds don't scream, they settle in steady. The kind that repeat when you handle your share. Earn the minutes, earn the name. No free shine, no free lane. Earn the minutes, earn the name. Quiet word, loud again. No shortcuts, just reps, and they always show. Rain on the glass, same road home. Wipers keep time like a metronome tick. I'm tracing the road through a blur of the lights. Dashboard glow on a face that look calm, but thoughts doing laps in the back of the night. You said we were fine, I said it back twice. Both knowing the weight didn't match what we write. I drove past the exit we used to take often. Kept going straight like avoiding the right. Radio low with a song we both knew. I turned it to static, to quiet the pull. You laughed in my memory, clear as the street signs. I blink and it fade like a trick of the hoe. You talk about time and I talk about choices. The miles don't lie when the tank getting full. I kept it together at every red light, but green got me moving with something I swallowed and all. Drive through it, don't turn back. Rain hit the glass, let it blur what you had. Drive through it, don't turn back. Hands on the wheel, let the past stay past. Over water, the city look distant. Reflections get stretched like a truth getting thin. I watched how I edited parts of the story to keep me from seeing the part I was in. You asked me for clarity, I gave you conditions like honesty. Need me to soften the spin. I spoke like a judge with a verdict prepared, not someone who cared what it cost you within. Headlights behind me, then gone in a second, like people who pass through your life and they leave. You call it a phase, I call it a pattern, the kind you repeat till you finally believe. I kept all the reasons that made me feel right, but lost what was real and the need to achieve. A win on the surface can hollow the center. What good is control if it costs you to grieve? Drive through it, don't turn back. Rain hit the glass, let it blur what you had. Drive through it, don't turn back. Hands on the wheel, let the past stay past. Yo. Shoulder, the engine still running. I sat with the noise of a choice I delayed. It wasn't the road, it was me in the mirror, the version I knew but kept looking away. You think it's one moment that breaks it apart, but most of it builds in the words you don't say. I learned how to face it without all the filters. Let truth cut clean when it don't wanna stay. I didn't get lost. I kept choosing directions that kept me from going the way I was afraid. I turned back around not to fix what was finished, but face what I carried and finally admit some endings don't need you to reopen the door. They need you to own what you did with it. No need for excuses, no blame left to give. The weight in the chest already fits. Some roads don't forgive, but they teach you to drive with a clearer intent when you sit. Drive through it, don't turn back. Rain hit the glass, let it blur what you had. Drive through it, don't turn back. Hands on the wheel, let the past stay past. Same road, new honesty. That's the turn I missed. Door on a hinge with a low tide creek. I'm staring at space that I used to call mine. Dust on the frames where the pictures got pulled, like time left an outline of what we define. You say it was sudden, it wasn't, just silent. The kind of a shift you don't see till it's signed. I carried the weight of a word I ain't say. Let it sit in my chest till it hardened inside. Clock on the wall got a rhythm that changed, like every second got louder to hear. You needed a reason, I needed a moment. Difference between what you showing was clear. I packed up the room, but I left with the echo, the part that don't fit in the box of a tear. No scene, no explosion, just distance expanding. The quiet kind ending that don't reappear. No big good still warm from a meal that went cold. I remember the seat where you chose not to stay. You said we'll talk later. I nodded like sure, both knowing that later was drifting away. I replayed the silence more loud than the words, like something important got lost in delay. You think it's a moment that breaks it apart, but most of it slips when you look the other way. I told myself stories that made it feel cleaner, like distance was something that neither could stop, but truth got a way of returning uninvited, pointing at choices I made in the gap. You asked me for honesty, I gave you a version, half of a truth that I shaped to adapt, and half of a truth is a full counterfactual, the kind you don't see till the pieces don't match. No big goodbye, just a shift in the air. No slamming doors, just absence there. No big goodbye, just a shift in the air. Some endings whisper, they don't declare. I used to think closure would sound like a sentence, something you say that would settle it all. But closure been living in things I avoided, the calls I ain't make, the words I let fall. It wasn't just time, it wasn't just distance. It's how I kept quiet when I should've called. Now everything clearer the further I step, like truth in a room when the echoes get small. Yeah, it didn't fall apart. It faded in pieces I chose not to hold when they started to fall. I learned every ending ain't loud when it happens. Most of it settled in moments you missed. You look for what line will it all clearly broke, but sometimes it's built out of moments like this. No need for a villain, no need for excuses. The mirror reflected as simple as is. Some losses don't hit you the second they happen. They land when you finally sit with what is. No big goodbye, just a shift in the air. No slamming doors, just absence there. No big goodbye, just a shift in the air. Some endings whisper, they don't declare. No final words, just quiet, and that was enough. Same desk, new deadline. Same desk, new deadline. Yeah. Email at 2 with the subject revisions. Red marks in the margins like lines on a map. Notes say not there yet. I stare at the screen like it's daring me not to react. You call it rejection, I call it direction. What's sting in the moment can sharpen the craft. I printed the draft, spread pages like blueprints, then circled the parts that I rushed just to pass. Coffee went cold while I rewrote the sentence, then rewrote the rhythm to tighten the scheme. You look for approval, I look for precision. The difference between what you show and what's clean. They question the angle, I doubled the angle, then cut what was clever but hurting the theme. I learned how to kill what I love for the record. If it don't serve truth, it don't serve the dream. Cut it, refine it, return with a better. No need for a rush if it don't last forever. Cut it, refine it, return with a better. Pressure make polish when patience apply it. Comments in threads like a room full of mirrors, each one reflecting a flaw I could fix. You call it critique, I call it a compass, pointing the gaps that I'm paid to admit. I swapped out the lines that were loud but empty. empty. Replace them with details that actually stick. I tightened the cadence, aligned every section. Now every bar carry weight when it hit. Deadline approaching, the clock getting louder. I'm pacing the floor with a plan in my hand. You panic and post, I edit and focus. The difference between what is noise and what stand. I studied the note about tone and consistent, then rewrote the voice till it fit with the plane. Consistency build like reps in the gym. Small sets done right make the strongest the brands. Cut it, refine it, return with a better. No need for a rush if it don't last forever. Cut it, refine it, return with a better. Pressure make polish when patience apply it. I used to take notes like a hit to my ego. Defend every line like it's part of my name. Now I take notes like a route to a level. What bruise you at first can be fuel for the flame. They don't see the drafts that I buried at midnight. The versions I scrap just to raise up the frame. Growth ain't dramatic, it's quiet. A method, decisions repeated till better is plain. I didn't get better from praise, I got better from edits that forced me to face what I hid in the name of the game. I learned every note, got a note in the margin, the key if you read it instead of complain. You wanted it quick, I wanted it right. Difference between what is viral and what will remain. No need for applause when the work feel aligned. When quality speak, it don't need to explain. Some wins look like drafts to the outside world, but feel like a standard you'll never untrain. Cut it, refine it, return with a better. No need for a rush if it don't last forever. Cut it, refine it, return with a better. Pressure make polish when patience apply it. No shortcuts, just revisions. That's how it lasts. Some nights don't need a crowd, just a conscience. Fluorescent buzz in the corner store aisle. I'm counting the change from a drawer I could skim. Cameras above me, a blink of a red light. I'm thinking how easy it is to give in. You tell me it's nothing, a couple of dollars. They won't even notice a shift at the end. But something about it feel louder than money. The type of a line you don't cross just to bend. Receipt in my hand, it's longer than needed. Like listing the reasons I'm trying to wait. You call it survival, I call it a signal. What small things you take start deciding your day. I've seen how it starts with a quiet exception, then grows to a habit you don't wanna say. You build you a story where wrong feel like right, to truth feel like something you slowly betray. Little lies turn big when you cross them twice. Small cuts stack up till they change your life. Little lies turn big when you cross them twice. What you call justice start to cost you twice. Night shift quiet, the city on pause. I'm hearing my thoughts like they louder than sound. You needed a reason to justify edges, I needed a reason to stay on the ground. You say they don't care, but I care when it's me. When nobody watching and nobody around. Character tested in moments that's small. What you do when it's easy to find what you bound. I watched how excuses get dressed up as logic, how comfort can whisper and make it seem fine. You tell me it's different, this ones don't define you. I know how that thinking can blur every line. I put it back slow, like I'm placing a weight on a scale I've been building inside of my mind. Some wins don't come with a profit or praise. They come when you leave what was easy behind it. Little lines turn big when you cross them twice. Small cuts stack up till they change your life. Making choices was loud when they mattered, like moments that shake you and force you to choose. But most of the time it's the quiet decisions, the ones you can hide, the ones you can lose. You think it's a test when the stakes feel high. It's really a test when there's nothing to prove, when nobody sees, when nobody checks what you do. In that space is the truth that you use. I didn't get stronger in chaos. I got consistent in private when shortcuts was sitting there begging to be used. I learned every line that you draw for yourself get clearer the more that you choose it on sight. You don't need a speech, you don't need a witness. The proof is the pattern you live when it's light. Integrity quiet, it don't need applause, it don't need a stage just to show it's right. Some battles ain't public, they happen within. And you win when you walk past what's easy tonight. Little lines turn big when you cross them twice. Small cuts stack up till they change your life. Little lines turn big when you cross them twice. What you call justice start to cost you twice. No one saw it, but it's still counting.